All right, well, good win tonight. Proud of our group, specifically the second half performance. Thought we played a complimentary game in that stretch. Obviously, went on a 21-1 run. They tied at 46-all, and they had a shot on rim that fortunately missed out. And we came down, got a three, and then got a stop, and then an offense rebound, got another three, pushed it to 6, and then I think Garrett got another offense rebound, got JP, and hit another three and pushed it to 9, and ended up pushing it up to 20, and just played the right way in that stretch. I thought we were getting stops. I thought we finally started keeping the ball out of the paint, and then we limited second chance, and then we started getting second chance, and ended up obviously giving us a recipe to get a win tonight. But first half, it wasn't all bad, but we're up 5 at halftime, and we were minus 13 in second chance and points off of turnovers, and similar story as the other night on Saturday in Johnson City, just giving ourselves a deficit by not crashing the glass ourselves and really allowing other people to get offensive rebounds. And then, we just have some inexplicable turnovers, that just really are frustrating that we typically don't have around here, but we're giving the ball to the other team without it really being forced enough. And then it's just putting teams in transition. And, the best way to score in transition is to create a turnover or to be given a turnover, right? And that's going to lead a broken floor. It's going to give you advantage. It's going to put layups on the board. And we gotta be committed to playing cleaner and taking care of this ball more. And I think, those two things, limiting our turnovers and then cleaning up the second chance points of the other team, but really more so us getting some. And I think it was 8-0 second chance points at halftime. And really for a team as long, as athletic as we are in some of our 3 to 4 to 5 spots, that's something we got to be better at. But hey, winning's hard. Second win in a row, and I guess we've won 8 out of 11, and obviously got a huge one coming in here on Saturday. So got to rest up tomorrow, and then have a really good 2 days of prep, and get ready for the next one.
Coach, obviously, I think the story of the second half, was obviously your improved effort on rebounds. And you go from being out rebounded at half to 51. You're outscored second chance points first half 8-0. You end up outscoring them 14-10. And I thought Ben Vanderwall was a huge part of that. Just can you speak to his effort in the second half? Especially?
Yeah, I thought that was one of Ben's best games since he's been a player here, and I think both career highs, 15 points, 13 rebounds, career highs. And Ben just plays the game the right way. He's willing to do all of what people think are small things that are really, there's no small things in this game. Like you gotta understand how big things are that people think are small, and understand that a lot of times those are going to be your differentiators. And Ben's a willing cutter, right? He understands the criticality of cutting, but he also understands, like, hey, we can get points off of this. I can attract defense out of this. We can play behind this. But cutting is character. That's something we've always talked about around here, because most of the time cutting is sacrificial. You don't always know, hey, is this going to be something that I'm going to get? You're giving up an opportunity to run to the ball, and instead you're putting a threat on the rim and the paint. And a lot of times you're going to draw a second defender off of that cut, which is really going to loosen up the defense. And he's just a willing cutter, and then he goes to every single backboard, whether it be on the defensive or the offensive glass. And I think that's a lot of what he was doing tonight. You look at how did he create a lot of his production, and then all of a sudden he started driving the ball. That baseline drive was gorgeous that he got the and one on, got the dunk, got out in transition, and then the game honors toughness. He goes out there and snags that rebound, and then the ball finds him in the corner, and he bangs that three to put us up 6 right there. And just proud of him, and his fight. And I think coming into the season, I think he obviously went through some adversity with the appendix and being out, and, not shooting the ball as well as he wanted to, and he didn't let it defeat him. He's been in the gym every day, making 300 shots, every day, and he's just been persistent to keep getting better. And hey, tonight he was a defensive player of the game. He led us in scoring, so you could argue he was the offensive player of the game, and he had a huge impact on this game. And I'm thankful for his contributions and the sacrificial things that he buys into to understand how important that is to winning.
You look at Carter's Witt and JP Begues, they combined for 15 of the 18 assists and or plus 8 because they combined for 7 turnovers. For a while there, it was a little bit higher. There's some maybe, as you mentioned, some careless turnovers later in the second half. But just talk about how tough it is to play when the other team's playing that fast, to be able to play controlled and to play in the flow of the game and be able to produce like they did tonight.
Yeah, I thought JP and Carter did a great job of finding offense for others. Obviously 15 of our 18 assists. I wish that we'd had a few more assists around them. You know, I hate putting that much load on 2 guys. You know, I think when we're at our best, you know, we're getting 2 or 3 more assists in a game like tonight. And we got other guys getting them, you know. But I thought they did a pretty good job, you know, of especially in transition, coming off the ball screen, knowing that they were going to drop low and looking for the advantage. And, you know, I'd love to see, you know, 7 turnovers at the point guard spot. I'd love to see that drop a little bit. You know, I think, you know, we just got to continue to clean up some things there. But they're doing a great job of attacking, they're doing a great job of being aggressive in transition, doing a great job of attacking the ball screen. And we need them both playing downhill, right? Downhill, aggressive, looking to make plays, and then staying on 2 feet and making the for sure play. And, you know, that's going to be really huge down the stretch. JP, I thought, you know, we needed him to be aggressive from 3 tonight. You know, we need to be aggressive from 3 every night. But with them playing that big back like that, you know, I told him, like shoot it, like get the ball in there, you know, and some of that's going to be off the dribble a little bit. But he's good at making those 3s off the dribble. And, you know, I thought he did a good job. You know, he hit those back-to-back 3s and, you know, hit that 3 in the first half. And, you know, I thought he played a good game.
It just seemed like in the first half, you know, you have a pretty good defensive set, but shot, like you get the rebound. And you could tell how infuriating it is to almost that you play pretty good defense, but then let them get the rebound and it just kind of negates it. And then you switch out, but it seems like as the game goes along, you know, Ben makes an impact. You bring Garrett back in, and he kind of improves. You bring Cooper in for even, you know, you brought him in early based on what he did for Saturday probably, but then he played like 15 minutes tonight. But he gets a couple of offensive boards as well. So, you know, these guys just kind of they when they get their chance and things are, you know, I thought they were a part of that comeback and taking control the way they played.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were more aggressive on the backboards than us in the first half. It wasn't even close. I mean, they hit 2 threes in the first half off offensive rebounds off of really, really good first shot defense, and then we just don't box. And, you know, it's frustrating because we've been talking about it, we've been emphasizing it, we've been drilling it, we've been coaching it, and it's just, again, it's a choice, you know, and we told them, hey, this is what they're going to do. Like, they're going to try to fly the ball up and down the court, and they're going to play one of the fastest tempos in the league, and when they throw the ball up, like, they're going to go try to get it, and you have to understand, like, what this is going to look like. And, you know, that's why I took that time out there, because it was just, I mean, it was just no focus and understanding, like, shot goes up, I got to get a body on somebody. And, you know, we ended up, numbers-wise, I mean, Ben's 23% on the defensive glass, Garrett's 23% on the defensive glass. We're 76% as a team on the defensive glass, which, you know, is pretty good, you know, overall. But I think we made a huge jump there in the second half. It'd be interesting to see some of the first half stats on that. But, you know, good to see Garrett's number that high. And, you know, we got to get a few more, you know, a little bit more involved in that. But rebounding, you know, when you look at when we've played our best this year, it's our defense, right? Like, even tonight, like, we're 0.84 or 0.87 on defense. Our offense has kind of been the same, you know, like wins and losses. It's, you know, like tonight about 1.07, you know, just, but there's like a 0.20 PPP difference in our wins versus our losses on the defensive end. And sometimes, for whatever reason, this team gets so fixated on how we play offensively, and defense is the answer for this team. Like, when we defend, we're really, really good. And part of defending is, right, the connected part of defending is you got to keep them out of transition. All right, you got to take great shots, don't turn the ball over, make them play against the set D. but you got limited on one shot, and that's when we're at our best. When you look at the numbers of us winning games, the defensive rebounding percentage is much higher, and we've got to understand that. We got to understand how critical that is, and we can't have drop in focus in that area.
To that point of defensive play, VMI and ETSU are drastically different offensively. So how difficult is it to transition playing a team at ETSU that likes to slow it down and play in half court, and then you get a team like tonight, you have to be disciplined in your transition defense? Is that something that you really coach, or is that just an effort thing, or is that what goes into that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the league we're in. I mean, it's been like that the whole time I've been the head coach. Like you see different identities, and you see guys trying to play fast, see guys trying to play slow, and you just got to work on it. Like Monday, we spent a lot of time, working on transition defense, and knowing how much that we were gonna have to do it tonight, and on Sunday, the fastest 2-tempo teams in the league. So you better get back. And tonight, it looks like we were in transition a good bit of the night. I don't know how efficient we were. 49% of the night we're in transition. But they were in transition 41% of the night, which is a little higher than we wanted it. As fast as they play, it's hard. We were hoping to keep them 38% or less. And so they got in transition a little bit more than we would like. But I thought for the most part, we did a decent job there. It just, when you're playing a team that's going to make that concerted effort to get the ball out, you better get back.
Coach, I don't want to keep harping on defense, but you mentioned the other night just the way ETSU plays.
I've been trying. You can keep harping on it. You try to help me here.
The way ETSU plays, it's going to be hard to kind of get turnovers. Obviously, the VMI plays very different, but it was a situation tonight where, well, if we're not getting turnovers, we better get rebounds. Was it kind of like one or the other?
Yeah,
And you anticipate those deflections coming back up as you move along?
Yeah, I mean, Scott, as you're trying to improve and trying to get the best, you have to ask yourself, like, what are things that we got to do better, and then what are we doing that's potentially lending to a negative? And you can say in coaching, you say we got to do this better, or at some point you got to say, hey, we don't have much runway left. We're not doing this as well as we need to. We're trying to do it better. We're just not. Okay, so therefore, if we're not going to get the deflections and we're not going to create the turnovers, well, we can't have the rim exposed, right? You can't do both. The number one defensive indicator statistically in good defense is still going to be field goal percentage. The number two indicator is going to be turnover percentage. That's why we've been top 3 in the league defense every year we've been here, is because for the most part, we've created turnovers through our deflections, and we've done a decent job at field goal percentage defense. This team, we haven't done a good job. I haven't done a good enough job getting them to play with their hands out, getting them to be active with their hands, creating these deflections, which then in turn would get us out in transition. We just continue to put low deflection numbers on the board, and so there's only so long you can say, hey, we got to get better deflections while we're just giving up layups, and while the rim's being exposed. So what we've had to do is we've had to shift, to more of a defense that protects the rim a little bit more, right? And tries to keep the ball more in front and keep the ball gapped and keep the rim protected and not getting as many aggressive situations. But tonight, to our team's credit, that was the adjustment when the game was tied, was to get more aggressive in our ball screen coverage, which was good to see, because I thought it was actually one of the big turning points of the game when we started hedging the ball screen. It just kind of stymied their guards a little bit to where they weren't getting downhill and in the paint. And it's something we've been working on, but at the same time, like, the number one emphasis has to be we got to limit exposure to this rim, and it's why we've been playing Cooper more. It's why we've tried to play with a little bit more size here, and again, been pretty repetitive in saying this. The biggest difference between us winning and losing has been our defense, and we can talk about what we think this team can be, and we can talk about what we want to do, and we can talk about Asheville, and we can talk about getting ready for Asheville. We better start guarding better, and that's just the reality of it. And we have to be willing to put in the effort to generate the amount of stops, the deflections, and the turnovers to be able to impose will on that end, to now be able to get out and run and do what we do best. And that's always been the recipe here. And it's always been, hey, that comes second. Like we got to be great teammates. We got to make other people better, right? We got to understand connection. But second, we got to be willing to fly around with D. And third, we got to move and value the ball. And I think it's something that we've shown that we can do. But at this point in the season, like we got to prove consistent down there.
When Cooper is in the game, is there a noticeable trend to where you can notice there's more deflections or more hesitancy from the opposing team offensively?
It's more just rim protection. He's just so big. I mean, he got down there and blocked that shot tonight. A little bit harder to go around him. A little bit harder to score over the top of him. And I think it's just he's still learning different coverages. And he had a couple ball screen coverage breakdowns tonight in the first half. And but still, I mean, look, that's going to happen. I mean, he's going to make some mistakes. But we wanted to get him to 15, 16 minutes tonight. That was the goal. And I think that's going to stay the goal. I don't see that going backwards. I think we've got to be committed, to getting him this experience. And he's going to be a star. I mean, he's going to be a star. And right now, are we in a red? Are we in a gold? Are we in a blue? Like it kind of, it's a lot. When he's having to sort through a lot of this stuff. And the only way you get better at that stuff is to play. Like you got to get the minutes. You got to get the experience. And I was telling somebody earlier. Slaw's freshman year, we had some DNPs and didn't play some games and didn't play many minutes some games. And, people would say, hey, you wish you'd redshirted him. But we beat Chattanooga here and we beat Greensboro here his freshman year. And he was a huge defensive impact in both of those games. And so when you get to the end of the year, you're like, hey, if it helps you win one game, it's worth it, right? Well, with Cooper, like, at Citadel, at ETSU, like we don't win those games without him. And so now you're just like, hey, yeah, we needed him. We have to play him. Like he's a part of this. Like he's a critical part of us winning games. And we just got to keep getting reps, right? We got to keep getting him confident. I love the fact that he stepped up and knocked those 2 free throws down. I love the fact he got behind on the roll again tonight. Got that dunk. And the more we can get him out there, the more he's going to continue to show improvement.
Coach, obviously tonight you won with one of your leading scorers, and I just wondered if there's a timetable for when Alex Williams might be able to play.
Day to day, just situation he and I are working through, and it's not gonna make a ton of comments on it, but I love Alex, and he made a mistake and he's owned it, and our plan is to move forward and him be a big part of this. I think he's shown a lot of growth in his time here, and I trust that he's going to continue to grow in his time here. And I thought he had a. I'm sure he missed being out there at night, and I look forward to hopefully getting him back out there sooner rather than later.